stay the course. So am I going to stay in this situation or am I going to leave? That's our strength. What we judge and when we apply what we know. That's the power of judgment. What we desire, need, require, or for whom we have the highest regard. That's love. What we master or have dominion over. That is our power. Of power, or they renamed it dominion in some cases. What we visualize is our imagination. What we know is our understanding. When and what we organize, sequence, or adjust, that's our power of order. What we are passionate about is zeal. What we deny or get rid of is elimination. And what we vitalize or enliven is life, in life. In a broad and general way, life boils down to a series of judgment and choices. Judgment discerns, but will makes the choice. Judgment evaluates, will still makes the choice. Judgment discerns one choice from the other. Will makes the actual choice. This matter of choice is very interesting, and hopefully we all learn by experience over time how to make the wisest choices. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we judge what is best in a situation and actually make a different choice. That's will in action, and we all have free will. The story of Princess Diana, when she was walking down the aisle, she said she knew she shouldn't be doing that. You know, we've all had experiences. I know I shouldn't have been doing that. But you go ahead and you go against your better judgment, and you use your will to make the wrong choice. And nobody's going to stop us because we do have that free will. So our divine power of will, though, is not to be confused with what we call God's will. By the way, God's will for us is always good. And you hear people say, I'll do that if God's willing, or if it's God's will for me to do that. Well, God is always willing. Are you willing? And God's will for us is good. If you get yourself into a situation that it is not good for you, then that is not God's will, because God's will for us is love, peace, and joy, or as the Course says, perfect happiness. The divine plan is for each of us to make the very best choices to express the amount of goodness, godness, and Christ consciousness we can at our present level of awareness. And we do this by using our power of ability of will at its highest level, of course, again, under the direction of Christ. We can use will from 4 different levels of consciousness, just like we can use understanding. Choices that are based on our sense consciousness or ego personality can range from very good and appropriate to the, what was I ever thinking? No. You know, sometimes you look at something that you do and you think, why did I do that? What was I thinking when I bought that ugly dress? Or what was I thinking when I bought that car that I can't afford? That's a level of dismay. Now, another area for vigilance is the tendency to subjugate ourselves to the will of another. And there are always exceptions, you know, such as you have a mentally incapacitated adult, or if you have minor children. Sometimes we use will to choose to go along with someone else's idea. And as in the case of children, you know, we exercise our will over children because, you know, we don't want them to get hurt. Or as in the case of touching the stove, as painful as it is, we may let them do it because we know if they do it once, they're not likely to do it again. But it's painful to sit there and watch them. It's painful to watch our children take a path that you don't think is good for them. You know, I'm going through that right now. Sometimes we use our will to cooperate with another person, but that's only if it's for our good. So to sit and to drink excessively or to use drugs, you know, to cooperate or just to go along with that person, that's not a good use of our will. But however you choose to do it, It should always be a conscious choice. And as a rule, we don't want to determine or allow others to determine our path and direction, but it's also true that we do not wish to inflict our will upon another. Such as, in the case of me, this company is hiring. Why don't you, hands off. It's not for me to inflict my will upon another person. We also need to be aware of states of consciousness that lead to more negative side or downside of the ability of will. We definitely want to avoid becoming willful or stubborn. Just like my grandmother was one of the most willful and stubborn women that ever lived. I don't have to go outside of my family for any examples. They're all there. When we are willful, we force our decisions and choices upon others. When we are to ignore the fact, we tend not change our minds. Well, maybe that is right. I don't know. Make another choice for a variety of reasons, ranging from not wanting to be wrong or to simply wanting our way, regardless of the consequences. So my way or the highway. You do it my way or no way. And my way is right, regardless of the fact that it's been proven to not be right. And the question comes to mind is, and this also in Course of Miracles, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Sometimes the energy that it takes to be right, we have to surrender that in order to be happy. So you're arguing over a minor point, like we used to do with grandmother. And she would finally just say, well, maybe so.